Morning everyone, this is the car show on Eastern, hosted by Celebrity Cars. Today, Brandon brought this orange pure, really bright Toyota Land Cruiser. So what's the story behind this car?
This Land Cruiser I found at a place out of Denver, Colorado. As mid-project, was advertised as a frame-off resto, but I quickly found out that that wasn't the case. So 2 years ago, since buying it, I've had to do a lot of improvements, fix things better than what was done to it. And so I'm almost done. I've got, I've redone the headers, engine, interior, redid the dash, rewired the entire thing. So I'm almost, it's 90% complete, but it's almost done. It's nice, they're kind of rare. I was looking for a Jeep when I came across this one and thought this would be a better investment or a better, for a classic car, and because you hardly see them on the road until lately, and now they're becoming popular. So it's good.
I was really surprised that this is from 1977. This is like 2017 model. This is beautiful.
I just keep it clean for now. Like I said, it will go off-road. Hasn't done anything lately because I had to make a bunch of improvements to the suspension and steering before I take it anywhere. But now that that's done, it's ready to roll. Find a group of people to go with, and I'm anxious to get it out, see what it can do now.
Let's talk about the obvious. This orange peel texture. What's the name of this finish?
This is bed liner coating, technically. But over the years, it's found its way on a lot of off-road vehicles. Nowadays, the texture is much better. It's applied better. This was done when I bought it. Again, probably way back when it was first becoming something to do. It's just rolled on there. I plan to redo it to the better texture. Maybe a different color. I'm not sure. I get a lot of comments on this orange, and it stands out. But that's all that is. I don't have to worry about waxing it, or if I'm going off-road, I don't have to worry about it getting scratched or dented. Just wash off or just put some more over it, and different than the fancy classic cars that you worry about paint. I don't have to worry about it.
So here, some of the wiring are covered inside that you
inside I have done everything rewired, engine parts. Different carburetor kit. It's got air compressor, onboard air system, aluminum radiator, remote power steering setup. I've wrapped it's got Downing headers on it that I just wrapped, titanium wrap.
Nice.
Pretty clean. Just the original 2F straight 6 engine. Original 4-speed manual tranny. Good setup from Toyota, very strong. Engine runs very strong. Electronic ignition. So it starts right up, goes down the road, no problem. No hesitation, even though it's still carbureted, no problems.
And one thing I didn't know about just Lawn, and this little bar right here.
Yeah, it came with just this part on the roll bar. I've added some things to it to protect my lights, added my lights, and then added in just a bar at the bottom because it's so high. And if I have to do anything to the engine, this is great for stepping on. I can get in here, do what I want, strong enough to hold up. Plus gives it a little better look rather than everything just being up here. And so I had to have that added in. And then hooks, if I do get in trouble, I can be pulled out of something. But I shouldn't, being Toyota. It'll should go anywhere.
We were talking about interior. Let's go to the side of the car and look at what's inside. I see the steering wheel, the beautiful orange stitches. Similar orange right here on the seatbelt.
Yeah, the interior, the biggest thing with the interior, when I got it, it was mediocre interior. The guy, whoever built this before, had just the cheap, gauges you get from the auto store. That was one of the first things I wanted to change about this. So while it was being completely rewired, I designed this dash and got some good gauges, laid it all out. Little arguments and fights here and there with the guy that helped me do all this stuff. But congrats to him for pulling off building this thing the way I wanted it. Nick from NXS Street Machines here in Henderson. But yeah, I had to do something with this thing. I had my switches, and all I'm missing is a radio. but I'm gonna get the little retro radio looking thing somehow to go along with the 70s theme. But yeah, I had to redo this whole interior, bed line the floor, custom handles for my shifters that look like the four-wheel drive hubs on the front wheel. But that's it. It looks a whole 90% better than it did when I bought it.
So this little short, do I call it gear?
That's just the transfer case shifter. So once you're locked in with your hubs up front and you're going along any trail, it's a shifter that goes from low gear to high gear. For depending on what situation you're coming on, low gear for going up stuff, obstacles, just it keeps you gearing to where you need it without having a lot of feathering the throttle. And then the high gear, so when you're on the trail and you want to go through the normal speeds and keep up with everybody else, it'll allow you to do that and not slow you down.
Can you shift when you're underway?
For this one, no. This one is you set this after you lock in your hubs. You set this one. I know the newer four-wheel drives, I have that shift on the fly feature, but there's a lot of electronics combined with. This is old school. Just I gotta know what I want, and then I have to, if I go from low to high, usually you're in a situation where you're gonna know what you want ahead of time anyway, and you just stick it in there, and it'll do what you want after that.
There is even instruction on the dash that you can follow how to shift the gear to transfer.
Switches for I have an air locker for the front axle, and then the other switch is my switch for I got an onboard air compressor. So if I go to air down tires, I can easily air them back up once I hit the street again. But yeah, a lot of additions to this stuff.
Nice, beautiful work done.
It's coming along.
Thank you for showing your car.
Thank you.